Right, if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Now let's get to our main conversation for today. A coalition of civil society groups under the hashtag End Bad Governance movement has declared October 1, 2024 as a National Day of Survival to protest against worsening economic conditions in Nigeria.
The movement, including organizations like the Education Rights Campaign ERC and Youth Rights Campaign YRC, criticized President Bola Tinubu's government for policies that exacerbate poverty, leading to rising fuel and food prices, inflation and mass unemployment.
Very true. Despite protest in August, the government has not addressed their demands. The movement blames the government's decisions such as fuel a price hike that have worsened the living conditions and had made life unbearable for ordinary Nigerians.
The protesters also condemned Tinubu's extravagant spending while the population struggles with poverty. They are demanding the reversal of fuel price hikes, reduction of food prices, and implementation of a 70,000 minimum wage across all sectors. Additionally, they are calling for the release of activists, journalists, and protesters detained during previous protests.
The movement has planned peaceful demonstrations on October 1, urging Nigerians to demand democratic rights, better governance, and electoral reforms. They have also requested police protection for the protest in Lagos and warned of more protests if their demands are not met. Very well said. And let's get to the crux of the matter today. But doing that, we have in the studio Banwo Olagoku, a member of the Take It Back movement, and also joining him in the studios right about now is Barrister Vanso Feli, constitutional lawyer from the Cadral Advocacy Center. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Weekend today. So let's get into the crux of the matter here. I'd love to start with you, Banwo. I think it's very important, more so that we've met one-on-one, right, during the hashtag End Bad Governance protest in August. And so I truly appreciate all that you have done in the cause for this. But I would love you to speak to us on what we should expect, what Nigerians should expect October 1.
It's going to be a nationwide protest, and it will continue if the president keeps showing executive arrogance by doing exactly opposite of what we are demanding for. You know, we have asked for reversal of fuel subsidy removal. We have asked for reversal of electricity tariff increase, custom duty. We have asked for diaspora voting, reduce the cost of governance, release all End Bad government protesters that are detained under charges of treasonable felony that has not been turned to a Akara charge, you know. And instead of the president to listen to us, rather he went to shop for multi-billionaire jets, you know. And so far, they have not responded to one of the demands of the End Bad Governance protest. And we are coming out again, and there's nothing that can stop us. You know, if you remember, they tried to use all sort of propaganda to stop the protest then, including religious, traditional rulers, A-list kings. They use even security officers that are within churches to tell pastors, to tell mothers, to tell their words not to come out. And, you know, all those things failed. Even they use their magic, the magic one they tried to use was tribalism, saying some people are not from some states, some people are aggrieved, and they just want to cause chaos. But, you know, some of us are actually from the same place they are saying they're not from. And there's nothing in the Constitution that says there's a jurisdiction to our fundamental human rights. And that is what we will do within the ambit of the law. And our demands are intact, they are simple and clear, and the government needs to listen, because there is no amount of intimidation that can distract or intimidate hungry people. You know, if you say you want shakara, we no longer do.
Thank you, Banwo. Thank you, Banwo. Barrister Evans Feli. The action that happened in August served as a warning, but the president reacted to the warning by increasing even the price of fuel. It is as though the more the citizens come out to cry and complain, the more the president do what is on his mind and make the economy harder and more painful for the citizens. And now the citizens are coming out October 1st to come out to complain again. What is ahead? Will they actually listen this time and sit up to do the right thing? Or they will go back to their drawing board to still do what they've been doing before now?
It does not matter whether they listen or not. What is important is that protests will happen October 1st. The president, the presidency, and all the security apparatus of this country put together are not bigger than the citizens. Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution says it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people, through which government derive a legitimacy. Now, the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. So it is in the law that the reason you have government is for the security and welfare of the people. Now, in a country like ours, where you don't have security, you don't have welfare, there's no government. That's what it means. So ab initio, the people ought to protest until a government emerges. The people cannot be left rudderless. Okay. And the structure on ground cannot continue to impoverish the people and expect them to tame their expression of grievances or stay within the confines of their homes to die there. Whichever way you're going to die. Okay. So the protest is critical. And much more than that, the protest is constitutional. It is the right of citizens to assemble. Section chapter 4 of the Constitution defines the rights of the citizens to assemble peacefully, to air their grievances, and to call government to order. Now, in August, citizens came out and they were clamping down on peaceful protesters, and they got to a point where they started charging them for treasonable felony. Because the government itself does not know what treasonable felony is. Protests have no element. Because before you charge someone for treasonable felony, the person must have made attempt, okay, to take over the government of the country or any part thereof. Okay, or the person must have made attempt to take over the position of a governor or the president or any part thereof. Now, for the protests, that is the first element. There was nothing like that. Okay, even when you say people were flying flags of another country, it does not even constitute treasonable felony.
But the DSS has come up to say that that was a prima facie, to the reason why most of the protesters were actually arrested and detained.
It is not, I'm charged for treasonable felony.
Yes,
it's not an element. That's what I'm telling you. It does not constitute an element of treasonable felony. You understand? It doesn't. Okay, because if the government have put its house in order, the citizens will not have any reason to go out there on the street. The Bill of Rights, okay, as far back as in 17, protest was the primary issue on the Bill of Rights, and that it is the citizens' right to so do whenever their welfare and their security is compromised. Okay. In the case under reference, the president addressed the country in August, bypassed all the demands. First, they sent the IG of police to tell the protesters to send in their demands. Okay, it was the federal government that did that. The demands, they sent it to the president. The president addressed the country and bypassed everything and increased the price. They were already saying the price of fuel was too much. He increased it again. Okay. So this protest coming up is justified. Okay. Because you cannot keep violating the rights of the people. Socioeconomic rights of Nigerians are violated. Fundamental rights of Nigerians are violated. There are two kinds of rights we have under the Constitution. They are both violated. And the citizens are still being threatened that if they come out to protest and all that, the government will charge them for treasonable felony or felony.
All right.
Each time they mention treasonable felony, I laugh. And I wonder who instructs, because the elements of it is clear. And for you to even charge people for treasonable felony under a democratic dispensation is even annoying. So I don't think this government is getting
Thank
it
you,
right.
Barrister Evans. Bawo, aside from Take It Back movement coming out on the street to protest and organizing the youth to come out to voice out their grievances, do the Take It Back movement have a structure and a way they could still communicate to the presidency and to the government to still be heard, aside from coming out on the streets?
One, if we have been around since 2018, there's no way we would be functioning without structure. That structure. Two, you and I know as citizens, the best way to communicate is the media, because you are not going to lobby as a normal citizen to say, oh, I want to have one-on-one with the president, right? So we have used all the media, including your platform, to spread information, and the media have taken it up and shared it. The government, if they can be charging people for treasonable felony, it means that they know that there is a protest. And to respond to what you said, that it's because of the flag, is a lie. Adara Moye, my comrade that is still in detention in Abuja, did not have the flag on him. Madam Angel did not have a flag on her. All the protesters that I know directly, one-on-one, that are in detention, they have no flags with them. And Barrister was very right. The law is clear. You must be trying to levy a war. That's the language the Constitution is. You must be trying to levy a war. Either you are planning to buy guns, or you are planning to shoot up a place, or you are planning to take over the states. The law does not say if you carry placard and you are singing. So the government cannot lie that they don't know our demands, because in fact there's a flyer for each demand, and it's everywhere. I'm sure everybody here has the flyer. So the president knows our demand. That's why he addressed but jumped everything and just say, oh, some people want to constitute nuisance. It's just power drunk and deaf to the demands. So there's no excuse. If they can send their police, they can. Most of the time, police outnumber us. If they can hire thugs to be slapping journalists like you, would they not be saying they don't know the demands?
All right, so let's look at the methodology of the protest. Enterprise Television, we covered the 10-day protest like it was in August. And yes, so at some point the tension was high there. The people came and immersed and all. At some point it nosedived. Right? At some other point, there were no longer people. At some other point, the number of police were far more than the number of protesters. So how do you entail to make it work this time, particularly such that the government of the day would really understand what the cause is?
The government of the day, if they are responsible enough, even a one-man demand, a one-man protest is enough for a responsible government to respond to. You don't need 100 million Nigerians to cry on the street before you know that removal of subsidy has affected the cost of living. The increase, the banditry, band A, band B that they have done with electricity has affected cost of production. You don't need 100 million people to tell you that this custom duty that you removed has affected imported products, and majority of what we consume is imported. You don't need 1 billion people for that. Even though now one man goes stand for road, say, reverse anti-people policies, neoliberal policies on the order of IMF and World Bank because of loans or whatever you want to get from that, you don't need hundreds of people. On our part as movements, we have been conscientizing the masses. We do grassroots, apart from online. Most people just see what we do online. But we go to communities and we have alliances, we have community structures in ghettos, we talk to people, and it is left for the governments to play their role while we, the citizens, play our role by engaging them within the ambit of the law. So the numbers does not nullify the authenticity or the main hope of the protest, the goals of the protest. No, it doesn't. Regardless of how many numbers. And you yourself know, as a journalist, you saw thugs
very well
chasing people. and you saw police stand by doing nothing.
In fact, during the protest, we actually went viral while I was interviewing a protester. A talk came right there, and molested that protester. So it went all over the place.
And there's no case on it.
Nothing was done actually about that.
So the state is actively repressing people. They killed people in Kano. My comrade in Kano, one of our coordinators told me nothing happened. Nobody was. They were just marching and they killed people. They killed a 16-year-old boy and several others.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I have wanted to ask Barrister Ofeli. Afam Osigwe, the current NBA chairman, has directed the Nigerian Bar Association in every state to ensure that they do the needful in following up on this particular matter. How far do you think that can go, especially knowing that another groundbreaking protest is coming up for October 1?
We need a critical mass of lawyers on these protests. Lawyers have a very significant role to play, and it should be pro bono, free of charge. You see, this is a national concern. Okay, sometimes it's very difficult to pull lawyers out of their comfort zone, and I tell them anytime I meet, I say, we need to, as a matter of necessity, occupy this whole space and ensure that the government's illegality is brought down to its knee. Okay, because this government is not interested in the welfare of anybody, both citizens, whatever it is. Now they have reduced, even they will now have a flat class strata. There's no class again. Yes, everybody's impoverished, apart from those in government. yes, apart from those in government. So this affects everyone. It affects both lawyers and non-lawyers and citizens, children, all over. If we don't up our game in this protest, we're going to come to a point in this country where we'll have no country to bequeath to our children. And that will be unfortunate. It will be unfortunate because what these people are interested in is to make sure that they shrink the citizens economically to the point where they're not able to breathe any longer. Any society that allowed that to happen to itself will be guilty of laches and acquiescence in law, where you sit back and relax when your rights under the law is crushed to the ground and you are not able to do anything. In future, your children will ask you, when your rights on this, on that were being tampered upon, what did you do? You did nothing, so you failed them. People think this struggle is for us. This struggle is not for us. This struggle is for the unborn generation, the generation coming after us. We need to put a part. We need to create a country for them. Because our own generation is a wasted generation. So if this generation is wasted, should we allow ourselves and our children to join the bandwagon of waste? We must fight against it. This same president fought against military regime. So it's even easier for us because this is not a military regime, though it's acting like one. We should now come out and ensure that, we have a group, our lawyers group, where we discuss this, MBA and all that. People have taken it upon themselves. I have not done any in this, but during the NSAS, I was fully involved in, helping those who have been arrested to come out from detention. Because even if there are no lawyers at all to help citizens out of detention, and even if the government goes house to house, to use padlock to lock all the houses in this country, protests will still happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, there are people who will escape from that padlock and they will go and protest, because protest is critical. You cannot put that aside. It's a fundamental right of a citizen.
Now, speak to us on the 10 million naira bail conditions that, of course, that was leveled on those that were arrested, the 10 persons that were arrested. What is the NBA? How can the NBA go as well as ensuring that, of course, we know this is not what it is supposed to look like? What do you think the NBA can do to do?
The 10 million naira is not paid for. But the public believe that once the court say, if you have been granted bail in the sum of 10 million naira in like sum, then you are going to bring 10 million naira and then pay before you are released. No. What will happen is that the person who will stand as surety or surety for you will do that, and if you jump bail, that person will be asked to forfeit that sum to the state.
Oh, okay.
Not like you're going to put it down. Nobody puts down that money. Okay? So it's just to ensure that they're able to. And if you look at it extensively in law, being a surety does not mean you should now take over the alleged offense, or the alleged offense of the defendant will now be drawn onto you. That is not the case. That is not the law. So you remain a surety, and the case will continue until the federal government is able to prove treason.
Oh, okay.
They cannot prove any treason anywhere, because for the court, you can arrest anybody and draft all the charge in this word and put on the person. You can even add arson, add murder, add everything. But you know what the court will do? You must prove everyone with the elements of that offense. So when you say treasonable felony, the court is looking at what you did to take over the state. That's what the court is looking at. That's what the court is concerned with. So the federal government will now bring evidence to say that you were in Aso Rock to try to remove Tinubu, or that you were in one state to try to remove the governor.
Okay.
Or whether flying flag amounts to removing Tinubu, or whether going on the street peacefully to protest. When it is the federal government oftentimes that comes to introduce violence into protest. When they introduce violence, they will now turn around and say the protest was hijacked. Was hijacked by who? It was during the NSAS. They came and introduced violence to it. Yeah. They turned around the next day and said the people were breaking shop and looting. Nobody looted anything up until the soldiers came to shoot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Philip. Now, just add this to your pattern show that I asked you this question. We are the End Bad Governance going to the street on 1st of October. Yeah. So what is your message, and how are you passing this message to the public and the youth that are yet to come out? What are they meant to do and not to do so as not to attract violence, let me say, from the security operatives?
I think you don't preach to the choir, right? At the NSAS panel, we won at the NSAS panel because Justice Doris Okobi said there was no violence until the massacre.
Yeah.
And she even gave advice, and the Lagos State government tossed the advice away. So if we were not violent during NSAS, we were not violent during End Bad Governance 10 days of rage in August, we cannot be violent now. The people have always been peaceful. People come to protest with just their phones and bags. The people that are coming to attack us, we saw everything in the news. So it is the states that on violence matter. It is the state that will tell that our fundamental human rights remains our fundamental human rights, and no intimidation can change that.
And you think the timing is right? Do you think the timing is right? October 1st, at a point where Nigerians are celebrating independence, the world is looking up to us. Do you think this timing is the best timing?
You don't beat a child and ask and tell the child how to cry
or to celebrate.
I know the cost. I know the cost of what got me here today. I know how much I spend on food. Almost all my money is going to food now. So you're not going to tell me to postpone the day of my revolt or resistance. You know, you don't tell the masses that no, this day is not good. That one is not within the law. And I want to tell Nigerians that don't let anybody deceive you that protest is bad or protest does not work. The little freedom we are enjoying today in Nigeria, the little thing that we can call a nation today, or sovereignty or constitutionality or legality, is a product of protest. Nigeria as a country became a country as a product of anti-colonial protest and movement. The Zikis, the Hawoists, and Enahoro, Fumilayo Kuti, and all of them, they were young. They were not even in their 40s yet. They were in their 20s and 30s. And even after independence, Nigerians did not go to sleep. That's why here Ali must go. When Obasanjo, the biggest implementer of neoliberal policies before Tinubu came on board, removed free education and commercialized it because of IMF loans and what have you, Nigerians came out to resist, and they must go. Then people were using their allowances to donate to South African struggle. They had car. My comrades that were on campus then told us that they were using their money to buy vehicle on UI campus. You understand me? So Nigeria is a country of protest. Even Babangida, as brutal as it was, there was Babangida must go, which was part of the pressure that made him to call for election.
There was Abacha must go too.
There was Abacha must go. So we are a people of protest. And protest is the reason why we still earn the little that we can brag about today. Obasanjo tried to do third-term tenure. So there's this propaganda by the ruling class PR machine that protest does not work, don't come out to protest. It is a lie. History shows that it is a lie. So what I will tell Nigerians is that for a people to be misled, first of all, they have to be misinformed by the people that are in power. So they should not follow the misinformation or the fear-mongering tactics of the ruling class. They should come out en masse. They should not come out alone. They should mobilize their friends, their cousins, their relatives, girlfriends, toasters, employers, and colleagues. And Ikeja it will be. And also, for the Nigerian workers, you know, when the NLC leadership is failing to do the needful, we, as a movement in Take It Back movement, our demand is 250,000 naira for living wage.
All right.
So, if the Nigerian workers believe that it is their right to earn such, considering the indices now, the inflation, they should also come out. You don't need NLC bureaucracy to bring you out, and it is not illegal for workers to protest without the order of NLC bureaucracy. So it is very, very important. We are calling even our nurses that, you know, the nurses, the verification portal is not open. NAM is being stupid. NAM is working with NMCN. NMCN is dribbling them with House of Rep order. House of Rep gave order. NAM is looking at them. NMCN is folding hands. Nurses cannot get jobs abroad. And, you know, their demands too is also part of our demands. We are calling on Nigerian nurses to make October 1st a day. And also the drivers in Lagos, nationwide, especially in Lagos, they are also complaining of Agbero's extortion because, you know, the Lagos inflation is different because of the Agbero factor. Lagos is the only state where you have like 20 tolling points controlled by Agbero before you get to your destination. Because we were part of the drivers' maiden and only protest in Nigeria 2 years ago. So we are calling every professional, either you are unemployed, you are employed, come out, because we are a people of protest, and the only language the tyrants in power respect is protest.
Very well said. And just like we always do right here on Enterprise Television, we promise to bring you up-to-date information on all that would happen come October 1st. So still tuned with us and also continue to stream. We want to say thank you to Barrister Vance Ofeli. Thank you so very much for being part of our show. Banwo Olaguku, thank you so very much. We truly do appreciate your time. And we equally would plead that when the time comes, whenever we invite you, please, we'd love to have you.
I'll always be available. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Choma. Thank you.
The more we keep talking, the more the story gets
Very well said. All right, so this is just about the time we have for our show today. We'd love to say thank you to you. And for you've watched, you've streamed, we'd love to say thank you. We truly do appreciate your time. But please do well to visit us whenever you want at enterprisetvnews.com. And also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igweke.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
On behalf of the entire team of Enterprise Television, we'd love to say thank you once more, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.